Hey, author. If you're ready to stop grinding and start manifesting success in your author career, this is your sign. Millionaire Author Manifestation is officially open. This 12-week transformational program is designed to help you align with wealth, creative flow, and effortless success, all without burnout. And this year, I've got some big upgrades. There's financing options available through Klarna and Afterpay. I have brand new meditations and a new somatic healing set of exercises that are going to rewire your body for receiving the success you're calling in. Doors close soon and we start on March 17th. So if you've been waiting for the right time, this is it, my friend. Head over to authorrevolution.org/MAM to join us now. Welcome to the Author Revolution podcast. I'm Carissa Andrews, author and your host, here to help indie authors like you master mindset, harness manifestation, and embrace cutting-edge innovation to elevate your career. Let's dive in. Well, hey there, guys. Welcome back to another episode, a bonus episode even, of the Author Revolution podcast. This one was not scheduled, guys. It's one that I just kind of felt compelled to talk about. And so here I am sharing a bonus episode for 2025 with you. So we need to have a talk because I've been really thinking about how much success and growth and the way that we look at our author careers has been honestly all wrong, right? So I want you to think about this. What if everything you've been told about making money, growing your readership, and making it in publishing is wrong? Today, I'm going to break down the biggest myths that I've learned over the years about success. And I want to show you a completely different way to build the author career that you really actually want. And this comes from years of my own personal experience, hopping into this industry, thinking I wanted one thing, and then realizing no, really, I wanted something else, but this is the way that everyone was trying to push us, hurt us in a sense, to go, okay? Let's start with the myths, and I want you to think about this and just kind of settle into it for a minute. Myth number one is you have to hustle 24/7 to succeed. Man, I'll tell you what, that was definitely the myth that I came into the industry with. I was coming in, I was writing starting in 2010. I started publishing, like literally hitting the publishing button in 2013. And around that same time, shortly after, that was when like the whole 20 books situation happened. But Amanda Hawking was already doing this, right? She was already setting the stage that if you wanted to earn big, you needed to publish like a lunatic. And honestly, at the time, it hadn't ever occurred to me. Like when I first landed into 20 books to 50K, that Facebook group blew my mind because it like literally had never occurred to me to publish that fast. And part of the reason for it was because when I first started writing, I was doing it for the love of the story. I was doing it literally for the inspiration, the hit that came to me. And I knew I had to tell this story. I knew that Pendamis had to come out, that Runa's story needed to be told. That was it, like end of story. And so opening my eyes to this concept of, oh, you can do it faster was kind of fascinating to a degree because my neurodivergent brain is like, oh, this is a challenge. This is something that not everyone can do. Let's see if I can do it. But I quickly found that I didn't enjoy it at all, like not at all. In fact, it put me into complete dysregulation. It funked up my nervous system. Back in 2017, when I was rapid releasing the last two books of that series, I ended up getting TMJ so bad that I had to go to a physical therapist to fix it. And it still, to this day, gives me issues. So needless to say, when we are trying to do this whole hustle and grind mentality, it's really just keeping us broke and it's burning us the fuck out. It's putting us into a state of complete and total nervous system dysregulation unless you feel aligned for it. But even the people who write like this, even the people who really are enjoying this publishing methodology, they're not 100% with it. Like every author I've ever worked with who has published a lot of books still feels on some level like they are chasing something. They're chasing success, they're chasing the dollar, they're chasing the algorithms, and they're not quite reaching what they want, right? And so when I started realizing that this system was not, it was not beneficial for us, and I was putting out rapid release roadmap back in 2019. That was the initial time I was doing this. I knew that I had to teach something that was different. I knew that I had to show authors that you can still rapid release. It's just a methodology of how you publish your books, and it doesn't mean a book a month or a crazy lunatic way, right? It just means how you're going to publish, and you're going to publish it more rapidly than most. And you're going to give yourself an actual editorial calendar to do so. But I knew I couldn't just teach a book a month because that did not feel sustainable to me. It didn't feel like long term I could do it. It didn't feel like long term most people could do it. And so I kind of decided to cap it at 4 books a year. And that's where the concept of rapid release roadmap really came from. But from that point, once I started digging into how I was feeling, how I was working when it came to my publishing schedule, how was I feeling when I was creating the editorial calendars and not taking time off? Like I started having to schedule time off because this hustle, grind, go, go, go kind of culture makes you feel like you're failing if you are not succeeding in a monetary way, in the way that certain others are, or even what they're saying, right? We sometimes take things at face value, not really looking deeper. So some of these people who are earning 6 figures, they were also spending close to 6 figures to earn the 6 figures. And so there's like this disconnect between what they earn and what it took to get there, and then you're only seeing the end result, and so you're judging yourself against it all. And it really just puts us into this manic kind of manifestation mode, right? Whether you understood manifestation or I understood manifestation the way that I did at the time is irrelevant. You're manifesting all the time, right? So the difference between that manic manifestation and aligned action is, number one, trusting yourself, right? It's about getting back into who you are at your core. Why did you choose to do this writing? Why did you choose this particular genre? What did you believe when you first started? If you go back and ask yourself those questions, it can be pretty apparent as to why your author career hasn't taken off in the way that you thought it would. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but for me, I always wanted an author career that felt sustainable, that felt good, that felt aligned with my creativity. I wanted to be able to just create when I felt inspired to create. And I wanted it to be a foundation, right? I didn't want to just have like this one and done big flare up of popularity. So I knew that I wanted to have a backlist. I just didn't quite understand how big of a backlist I was going to be creating at that point. It was just more of a, oh, I need to do this thing and I want it to feel like this. And so when when this whole rapid releasing thing through 20 books came about, it was like, oh, this is how I do it quicker. Okay, I like this. Except it didn't work because it wasn't aligned with who I was and what I was really wanting. I wanted that foundation. I wanted to ease and flow. I wanted to tap into my creativity. I wanted to share the deep thoughts that are in my head that oftentimes I have no one else to tell. And so that was really my purpose, my starting point for becoming a published author. It wasn't to earn a shit ton of money. It wasn't to be this highly successful, highly visible, whatever, even though it's okay for me to have that, even though it's okay for me to call that in, even though my goals might have changed throughout the years and I've aligned more with that higher vibration, that, millionaire author vibe, I've aligned with it. At the time, it wasn't. And so I needed to be able to take a closer look at where the disconnect was before things could really flow and ease could come into it. Okay, so myth number 2, the algorithm is against you. Oh, I love this one because I think I have even played into this myth, right? Whether it be Facebook algorithms or Amazon ad algorithms or Amazon algorithms in general or whatever. Like we're all in this place of, trying to compete, it feels like. And it's easy to blame the algorithms. It's easy to blame something else as to why we're not succeeding. But the truth of the matter is, our energy is what attracts. Our energy that we put out, our belief structure, the thoughts that we think, the feelings we feel based off the thoughts that we think, whether or not we feel safe with money, with more success and visibility, all of those things play a role into whether or not we attract more readers. And it does more, honestly, than your ad spend ever could. 80% of your success is going to come from your energetics and 20% of that aligned action. Kid you not. So if you can get get your mindset, your energy on board, and that's not just your mind. That's one of the things I've really learned over this past year of doing a lot of the inner child shadow work. I've done a lot of the inner work. And now it's been really fascinating because I've been trying to become and embody the, the wealthy woman, the wealthy course creator, the wealthy author, because there's always been that level. I didn't grow up in a place where money was a big thing. Like my family was very poor. We had my brother who had a brain tumor, and most of the money that they had went towards medical bills at the time because they didn't have the kind of medical insurance that we have now. And so we grew up super poor. And so that's not like the status quo vibration that I grew up with. And so I've had to retrain myself. But it starts in the mind. Okay. And so what I want to say here is that what I've learned over the years is it starts in your mind. You have to work on the subconscious elements of it first. That's where hypnosis and meditations and a lot of the mental retraining comes in, because when you can retrain your brain on how you think different thoughts, which impact your feelings in a new way. Like, I'll give you an example. If you feel like you're always failing, like, why isn't this working? Nothing is working. I don't understand why every time I put a book out, nothing happens. No one's listening. Feel how that feels in your body for a second. Like those thoughts, if those are on repeat in your mind all the time, they are automatically triggering your autonomic nervous system to go into fight or flight because it doesn't know how to fix it. It doesn't know what is going wrong, and it doesn't know where the bear is or where the evildoer is to be able to slay and slash, right? There is no way to be able to fix it. And so you're in this chronic stress loop where if you were to shift those thoughts from, it's never working, to, oh my gosh, today is the best day ever. I don't know what's going to happen, but something amazing is going to happen. I don't know how many new readers I'm going to get today, but I know it's going to be a lot because everything is working out for me. The universe is always working to show me that I'm in the right track, doing the right thing at the right time. And I can't wait to see what sort of cool things are going to happen today. Like, oh my gosh, what if I got 5 new readers today? What if I had 3 new reviews today? What if 14 people bought my bonus whatever on my website today? Like, do you see where it's different? Do you see that vibe? But it takes time to be able to retrain our minds, and it takes time to be able to get back on board with the thoughts that are more in alignment with who we really are, honestly. Because a lot of that, why is it not working, is because we're observing the external world and we are internalizing what we're seeing rather than just going, okay, what's happening right now is interesting because it's showing me what kind of thoughts, what kind of vibration I've been putting out into the world before this moment, but it's old news. So it's my job now to go, that's old news. I don't want that anymore. So I'm going to decide and choose to shift my thoughts, to change my vibration, to do the work to be able to embody the version of me who has what I want. What do I want? Well, it's obviously not whatever's just happening, right? The thing that's in lack, the lack of readers, the lack of responses, the lack of whatever. So therefore, I'm going to retrain my brain to start thinking more positive thoughts. And if you can't shift those thoughts right away, it does help to do things like the inner work when it comes to inner child work, find out where these wounds came from. The shadow work, they're kind of entwined because shadow work is really coming into that inner child work. But you want to go into those moments to be able to reframe them, to be able to look at, where did this thought come from? Why do I believe this thought? Because it's obviously not serving me, and then be able to shift it. But what I was trying to say was, this year, I've noticed I've gone through the cycle of all the mentality work, right? And as a neurodivergent manifester, and I'm autistic, ADHD, I have a lot of pattern recognition. I'm realizing now that I'm moving out of the mentality phase. Like, I've done enough of that, is kind of how it feels. And I've got this embodiment piece that I have always done. I'm an energetic healer. So I do Reiki. I've been a Reiki master since 2002 or 3. It's been a long time since before my kids were born. And so to me, energy has always been something I could read. Like I can read people, I can read your thoughts, I can read your words, I can read your language, your body language, I can read the tonal structure and frequency of what your words are saying without you even realizing it. I can even do it with the written word. Like I can tell when I'm reading a book if someone is in a high vibrational state versus someone who is wanting you to believe they're in a high vibrational state. There's a difference. And so, at any rate, as I've moved through this past year and I've cleaned up my energy and my vibration around my thoughts, it's like I've naturally been led into this embodiment piece. And the embodiment piece is really all about feeling safe in your nervous system. And we've talked a lot about this last year because I started moving into it last year, but like your heart coherence is a big part of it. Getting into heart coherence, getting back into the body where you feel love and joy and peace and gratitude and all the good things. But even further, even more than that, one of the things that I've been learning is that, as you're calling something in, sometimes we have to retrain your body to feel safe in the calling in of the thing so that we can have and hold the capacity to bring it in. So one of the ways that I really enjoy, and it's something that I am teaching in Millionaire Author Manifestation this year, we have implementation weeks in this course. And so I'm dropping into somatic healing exercises so that we can embody the version of us that's calling these things in, but then to remind our nervous system that we're safe to do so. So each of our implementation weeks, we've got 4 of them, are all about the embodiment aspect and pulling everything in and making sure that we are, really honestly becoming the safe version of us who gets to step into our full power, our full potential, and do all the things. So important. And it's been so interesting to witness because as the observer, I see what's happening. I see that I'm moving out of the mentality phase and now into the embodiment phase. And so it almost feels as though I've been on this journey to really understand as deeply as I possibly can all of the components. And once I've energetically wrapped up one piece, now it's like instinctively, intuitively, I'm moving into the next. So cool. Anyway, okay, so let's go on to myth 3. Number 3 is that writers don't make real money. I've heard this over and over throughout the years. I've even bought this at times. Like it can look in various different forms too. Like for me, it was, urban fantasy writers don't make money. You have to be in romance in order to make real money. Have you ever felt like that? Yeah, it's a thing. But our beliefs dictate how much we actually allow ourselves to receive. So if you don't believe you can earn money as a, I don't even know, like urban fantasy, paranormal fantasy author, that's myself. If you don't believe it, you're not going to be able to pull it in. You won't take the inspired action to be like, hey, world, check out this amazing book that I just did. If you like XYZ types of people and tropes and characters and storylines and all the things, you're going to love this book. You're not going to put yourself out there to be able to share the information. And if it goes deeper, like you don't believe that you can make real money, it doesn't matter how many different pen names you put out there. It doesn't matter how many different things you are, sharing with the world. You are not going to earn the money until you can go back and reframe your beliefs around what you personally get to receive. And that's another thing that's really interesting about Millionaire Author Manifestation is because this stuff transcends manifestation, mindset work, mentality work, somatic work, embodiment work. It all transcends into all other aspects of your life. Like once you learn these tools, you can apply them to everything. It's amazing. I know so many different authors who have shifted their mindset and saw massive, massive financial success. And sometimes it requires thinking outside the box, right? I have authors who I've mentored who have, thought that they couldn't earn money on Amazon, so they ended up opening a Shopify store and it blew up. Or they were pushing and pushing and pushing with their ebooks, and then when they started pushing with their audiobooks, now everything else worked. That was Alicia and Megan. So if you go back and listen to their podcast episodes when they were on, you'll see so much good stuff there. Psst. Yeah, you, the one who keeps thinking about Millionaire Author Manifestation, but hasn't checked it out yet. Consider this your official nudge from the universe. Doors are open and we start March 17th. So if you're ready to stop hustling and start manifesting, now's the time. Go to authorrevolution.org/MAM before your future self side-eyes you for waiting. But sometimes we just have to shift what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about money, what we believe about how we get to receive or why we get to receive. Like today, I just had a huge breakthrough where I realized that part of the thing that's holding me back is the fact that my mom she's an artist, so she's an acrylic painter and she has been for a long time. And I, as a kid, grew up kind of following in my mother's footsteps. I married at 18. My mom married my dad at 18. I thankfully did not have a kid at 19. I waited until I was 26, but kind of got married young, was doing the thing. But I broke a lot of the similarities when I got a divorce. And what ended up happening was like the whole family structure at the time crumbled. Like I was disowned for a little while because of it. They didn't understand all the things. So there's an element in my nervous system where if I veer off from the norm of what my mother's trajectory is, will I be let down again? Will I be disowned again? And I know that money-wise, this is not the case. This is a completely different thing. There isn't as much charge there. But what's interesting about it is like my mom, as the visual artist, as the acrylic painter, she always was trying to get her stuff off the ground. She was always trying to be seen. She was always trying to be recognized as an expert in her industry. And she, funnily enough, she was also a teacher, but she taught in person. And she never really truly made it. And so she decided one day to just give up. And that's not in my nature. But at the same time, there's an element of me where I've recognized I've been holding myself back in a lot of ways. Whether it be books, whether it be, Author Revolution or this neurodivergent manifestor brand that I'm launching, there's this thing in me where it's like, if I succeed and I do the thing that I want to do, is my mom going to be happy or is she going to be, really upset? And is this going to cause problems again? And I've had to go into meditation and kind of rework and reframe it over and over similar thoughts. But today, for whatever reason, it just really hit. Like I could really see the pattern in it. And I was like, no, we're done with this. This is a thought that no longer has to be a thing and I'm letting it go. You know what I mean? So think about what is your shift or your paradigm when it comes to writers and money? Is there something there that is in the back of your mind that you believe? I want you to look at it because sometimes our conscious mind is saying we want one thing, but in the back of our mind, we're like, but is it though? Will it work like that? You know what I mean? There's like all that little niggling thought. And it takes a level of awareness to catch it. It does take a level of awareness. And sometimes we don't catch it until after the fact. And that's why sometimes that whole that whole saying hindsight is 2020. The reason of that is because we still catch those thoughts. We just don't consciously bring them to the surface enough to be able to latch onto them. And so it's interesting if you really dig into it, like, is there a level there for you where you're just like, I'm not sure this is going to work for me? Or this isn't how I want it to work for me. Like, are you going down the track of someone else's path thinking that you have to do it this way, but you hate it? Like, are you doing ads because you hate it, but you think it's a necessary evil? Stop doing that shit. Stop. You are not going to flow your energy and be in alignment with the creative that you are when you are doing things that do not feel like they're in alignment with what you want or who you get to be. You either need to get your energy on board or you need to shift your mentality around it. Okay. So let's talk about that. Like, what if all of those myths are completely wrong, which, by the way, they are? It makes us then have to ask the question, what actually works, right? Here's 3 shifts I want you to be thinking about in place of those. Shift number 1 is success comes from alignment, not effort. You've heard me talk about efforting from Abraham Hicks in the past. And the reason this is so important is because efforting without alignment is just action in motion. And that means your mindset, you could still be going, this is not going to work. I don't know why I'm doing this. This whole thing is stupid. And you're going through the motions and doing the effort, but you're not in alignment with the thing that you actually want. So if your energy and your mentality is not on board with you, all the work in the world is not going to bring you the success that you want. Writing 300 books and not feeling like any of them are going to be success the success that you want them to be, that's pointless. There's no reason for it. You are literally spinning your wheels. So I want you to really think about that. Your energy and your beliefs matter more than the number of books you release. It matters more than the ads you put out or the number of times you post on social media or any of those things. I want you to instead be thinking about working less and making more. What feels like ease and comfort and peace and flow for you? What were you trying to call in when you first became the author that you are, right? Because I'll bet money that there was an aligned component to you in the very beginning, but you got sidetracked. You believed something that took you off track, and now you're kind of sitting in this paradigm where you are just spinning your wheels. Time to shift it. Time to shift it, my friend. Okay, so shift number 2 then is you don't chase success, you attract it. Okay? You attract the success. So when you look back at all of the successful authors and what they're doing, they are not forcing it. They are tapping into the flow. They trusted and believed at some component at some point in their author careers that this gets to work for them, that this story was the fucking bollocks, as my husband would say. He says that all the time. Colin is a big one with that. British for the win. But anyway, you get the point, right? They believed in their story so strongly that the universe conspired to help them attract it and to create that reality for them. This is why we see a lot of these books out there that are such hot successes. And when we read them, we're like, that wasn't all that. Like, why is this such a big deal? It's not about whether or not it's perfect. It's not about whether or not it's the greatest story ever. It's about their energy and what they believed behind it when they put it out there. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. Okay, so shift number 3 is you, my friend, are the creator of your reality. You have to take radical responsibility about what you are seeing in your reality. And that's not to say that shitty things don't happen. I'm not saying that trauma isn't real, but when you are receiving things in your reality, no matter what it is, at some level, you have energetically allowed it. And I know it sounds hard, especially when there are things that we don't want to see in this world. But the hard things are there to force shifts. They're there to force us to change. They're there to force us to think and see things differently. Contrast is there to show us what we don't want so that we know more clearly what we do want, right? So you're the creator. Your success doesn't come, from a publisher, Amazon, or ads, not even your readers. It comes from your energy, your beliefs, and how much you allow yourself to receive. So if you're giving your power and your permission away, waiting on, a publisher or Amazon or any of those readers to come find you, you are giving your power away and you're not embracing and harnessing the incredible co-creator with the universe that you are. We live in a quantum field of energy. I mean, if you want to really tap into this energy of expansion, go outside on the, like a summer night, or right now it's like, March, it's kind of cold here in Minnesota, but you'll get the point. You go outside in the night, look up at those stars and tell me that all these things, Amazon ads, Facebook in general, that it matters. It doesn't. You're going to see that you are this incredible being alive right now on a planet that is spinning through space. Like, what a miraculous thing. How did we get so lucky to be here right now, shifting the vibration and energy of the planet, doing the things that we love? How freaking awesome is that? So cool. Now, guys, if this is something that is resonating with you, I want you to know that you have a choice. You can keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, you can keep spinning your wheels, you can keep getting stuck in the energies of it, or you can step into something completely different. You can make a decision, you can make a shift, you can move forward in new directions. And right now, the Millionaire Author Manifestation course is open. This is where we go deep into these shifts and rewire everything so that your success starts working for you, not against you. Now, this course only opens once a year. There is so much new stuff in it this year because I'm embracing my personal power. I am no longer giving my power away, and I'm just standing here in my full glory of this is who I am, and I know what the frick I'm talking about. So new this round is that we're adding that somatic healing to rewire your body for success. That's all happening in those integration weeks. There are brand new meditations that have been added to the course this year that I've done over the course of the past year. Some of them are brand new that aren't available anywhere else. Plus there's even financing options so that it's easier than ever to say yes. Now, class starts March 17th, and we kick it off right away with a call at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, CST time. And we're going to talk about all the things that are yet to come. Modules 1 and the welcome module open right away on the 17th. So by the time we hop into our calls, you'd have access to that information. But it's so good. This course has revolutionized so many authors' ideas of their career, what they believe they get to have. And you don't have to just take my word for it. You can head over to authorrevolution.org/MAM. Now, MAM is in capitals, MAM. And you'll get all the details, right? You'll see the whole sales page has all the information there. But if you scroll down to the middle of the page, we've got student stories about all the different things that have happened, all the shifts that have gone on in the Millionaire Author Manifestation and my other manifestation courses. But there's even a podcast episode from the Author Revolution podcast from all of my students in previous years. This was recorded last year in 2024. Give it a listen. See what they have to say from their own words. Okay? So no matter what you choose, just know this. Your success is already waiting for you. I know this to be true. The only thing left for you to do is to claim it, to decide that it's important, and to make the shift. This whole thing, whether you join Millionaire Author Manifestation or not, this whole thing is down to you. You've called in this information. You've been asking yourself these questions, and the new shifts are being made available to you. Just like with me, when I went through all of the energetic mindset mentality work, and now I'm into somatic body work, and I'm understanding how the two have to be linked together in order to see real positive change. It's like you will be calling in exactly what you need, and the right teacher will arrive, okay? So if you're ready, I'd love to have you inside Millionaire Author Manifestation. And if you're feeling the nudge, trust it. Trust the choice and come check it out. I mean, what's it going to hurt? I am so excited to be in this place this year where I am bringing such powerful information to my students. It's incredible how much I've seen myself grow this past year. I mean, I've been teaching this now since 2021, I think is when we first opened the doors. And now all of a sudden, it's like everything is shifting. It's all changing, and I'm stepping into my own personal power. And I know that you're going to do the same, because when we're in like energies, we elevate together. So join me. Take your power in your hands and become the most embodied, amazing millionaire version of yourself. If you'd like the transcript to today's podcast episode, make sure to head over to authorrevolution.org/bonus1. This is a bonus podcast episode, so you'll be able to see it right there. And yeah, welcome to the new era of authorship. Welcome to the new era of owning your own power and stepping into all that you are. 2025 is going to be a killer year for all of us, and I can't wait to see what you manifest. So go forth and start your author revolution.